Grow a Garden is the biggest game on Roblox possibly ever. Recently it had over 11 million people playing the game all at once. Now the game concept is a little bit hard to understand, so let me break it down for you. Basically, you grow a garden. That's literally it. So I'm gonna be recreating Grow a Garden completely from scratch. Now obviously I don't want to just copy Grow a Garden because that would be rude to the developers. So I'm gonna put my own spin on the game. In my game, you're gonna buy eggs to hatch pets and collect a giant pet army. You can also feed the pets to make them love you even more. What? No, I didn't take any inspiration from a certain block game. I have no idea what you're talking about. The more you feed your pets, the more coins they will drop, so you can buy more eggs and food. Okay, so now that I have the next front page game idea, it's time to get started. I opened up a base plate and got straight to work on the map. Each player is going to have their own home, and the pets will go in the front yard of your home. I made a quick fence and placed it around in a circle, and by that I mean I used the Archimedes plugin. I also started on a spawn place in the center of the map, where you would buy the eggs and the food. At this point, I was on top of the world. Nothing could stop me. Warning. Are you serious? Okay, I'm not even joking. I literally just got a warning for this game. like it literally says content deleted, bro. Like, what did I do? I guess the name Grow a Pet made Roblox think the game had some really naughty things in it. So I'm gonna email Roblox and see if they can get the game unbanned. This is a great start, bro. Come on. Anyway, I opened up a new game to keep working on it while I wait for Roblox to respond. Now, what do a cat, a bear, a dog, bees, and a bunny all have in common? They all hatch out of an egg. Well, not really, but for whatever reason, they do in Roblox, and do not ask me why. So I got started by hopping into Blender and modeling this cool little egg right here. Because Grow a Garden is in that classic build style, I decided to make the eggs look blocky. And I think it turned out pretty good. Next, I built this cool little bear out of Roblox parts. Now, I'm obviously not a builder, but I think it turned out okay. And before you ask, no. He is not drinking coffee. He is drinking hot chocolate. Coffee is for soccer moms. Hot chocolate is for game developers. And I also made this cool script that would make the bear rock back and forth whenever you're playing the game. So now I had the first egg and pet for the game, but there was no way to actually place the eggs down and watch them grow. So I turned to my good friend ModuleScript and decided to start working on the placement system. I made the system constantly detect where the mouse was pointing in the game. And if the mouse was pointing at the player's home, then it would allow them to place down whatever egg they had equipped. Then the script would shrink the egg way down, and over time it would grow it back to its normal size. Then I added some text above the egg that would show the player exactly how far along the pet was in the hatching process. Once the egg is ready, players can then walk up to it and interact with it to make the pet spawn in its place. But it wouldn't make sense for the pet to come out at its full size, so I decided once it hatches from the egg, the pet will be a baby pet. And just like the egg, over time, the baby pet would become a full-sized pet. So the growing system is working, but there's one teeny tiny itty bitty little baby problem. Nothing saves. One of the reasons that Grow a Garden is so popular is that your garden not only saves, but it actually grows while you're offline. Well, not actually, but we'll get to that later. But in my game, nothing saves at all. Now, if I want any chance of this game doing well, I have to implement data saving. Now, there's one problem with that, and that is Roblox's data store system is just kind of trash. Data saving has always been a hassle as a Roblox developer, so I decided to look for a better way to save player data. I found a few videos by a YouTuber called Riley Bites that were honestly lifesavers. They walk you step by step through how to set up Profile Store, which is a much better alternative to data store service. I would highly recommend these videos if you're interested. I'll leave all three of them linked down in the description. Then to save the data, I basically just saved a copy of a bunch of data, including the pet's name, its position relative to the player's plot, and a bunch of different attributes that the player would be able to edit. Then, when the player joins back, I take all of that data, unpack it, and apply it to the pets to load their plot exactly how they left it. Now remember how I mentioned that Grow a Garden actually grows your garden offline? Well, they actually don't. See, what actually happens is they store the time you logged off, and then whenever you join back, they calculate how much time you were offline for. They then apply that time to your plants to make it seem like they've actually been growing offline. And that's exactly what I did for my game. So now you can put down a bear egg, leave the game, and join back and it'll have grown. Oh, it looks like Roblox emailed me back. I really hope they restored the game. Hello there. Thank you for contacting Roblox Appeals about your moderation concern. After reviewing all of the available evidence, the consequence for this conduct will not be adjusted. Are you serious? Well, it looks like Roblox is not gonna fix the old game, so I guess we're just gonna have to keep going and rename the project. I decided to rename the game to Pet Collectors because hopefully this will not be moderated. And that was the core scripting of the game. However, there was only one pet, and that's gonna get really boring really fast. So I made a bunch more pets, including but not limited to a cat, a hamster, a bunny, bees, a penguin, and a pig. In total, I ended up making 9 different pets. I would have made more, but each pet took so long to make because I had to model it, weld everything together, and then animate each of the pets. But the good news is now we have a bunch of pets for players to be able to earn. But the only problem is players are gonna have a hard time earning them when they don't have any coins. So I went back to my new best friend profile store and created some leader stats with both coins and gems. The coins would be used to buy pets, and the gems would be used to buy food. But if players try to buy food right now, they're not gonna get anything. And that's because I need to go model some food. And I know what we're all thinking. Food. That sounds really good. I should go eat. Oh. Just me? Okay, so I hopped into Blender and decided to go ahead and model some food. I made one food for all of the pets and made most of them blocky just like the eggs. Then I put the foods in models and scripted an entire shop system for both the eggs and the food. And just like in Grow a Garden, I had the shops restock after a certain amount of time to help keep players engaged. But there was still a problem. There was still no way to earn coins. See, in Grow a Garden, you sell the vegetables that you've grown to earn money, but in my game, I wanted people to be able to keep their pets. So I decided to borrow a concept from this little-known game. I'm sure you haven't heard of it. It's Pet Simulator something? Pet Simulator X, that's what it is. I decided to have the pets in my game drop coins and gems just like in Pet Simulator. I made it so that whenever you feed a pet, there is a chance of that pet leveling up. And if the pet does level up, then it will drop more coins and gems than it did before. Now it turns out that there was a huge problem with the coin system. The issue was that if the players didn't pick up their coins and gems, it was causing the entire server to lag, making everybody's game super laggy. So I decided to handle all the coins and gems on the client, which, if you're wondering, is just a nerdy way of saying that I fixed the lag. I also added some leader stats and a fountain from a cool asset pack on ShopDehapy, link down in the description, as well as some trees and some classic Roblox homes. Now I didn't want anyone in my game to be confused, so I also added a tutorial to the beginning of the game just to help players understand what to do. And this wouldn't be a simulator style game if there weren't an awesome shop, right? So I added a bunch of different developer products, and I mean a bunch, as well as a couple of game passes to add some monetization. So make sure to go grab your credit cards and buy things on the shop. Wait, no, I'm joking. And with that, the game was basically playable, but there's one more thing I want to do. Make the game go viral. Code bro, isn't that what everybody wants to do? What? No. Anyway, I started out by having some people on my Discord server play the game to make sure there weren't any bugs. And I'm glad I did that because there were definitely bugs. But I got all those fixed and made sure the game was balanced, and then I made all of these icons. Yeah. And then I put a little bit of Robux into advertisements. Wait, 10,000? Yeah, so I poured 10,000 Robux in ads for this game. Hopefully it makes the game go viral, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. 5 players. 10 players. 20 players. 40 players. 3,000 visits. Okay, it's only been a few days and the game has over 3,000 visits. But there's a problem. Yeah. That's bad. A few of the thumbs downs came from when I accidentally broke a script in the game. Whoops. But the rest are just legitimate dislikes. What could I have possibly done wrong? All the hours spent on this game. For what? Maybe people don't like the game because it's just a copy of another popular game.
Or maybe because the game is just trash.
Whoa, how'd you get here? Maybe it's time to stop making copies of other games. Maybe it's time that I make something original.